Quickly on The Voice. Now, as we know, as the days roll on and we get closer to this thing, voting, by the way, starts on Monday, where if you want to, you can check on the AEC website, find a pre-poll place, go and vote early if you wish. I'm assuming by now you're not going to get any pieces of paper with somebody telling you which way to vote. Remember, if you do choose to vote early, the only votes that count. You have to write. There's not a double box here of tick yes, tick no. There's only one option. It's one little rectangle. You write YES or NO, you write a Y or you write an N. Ticks and crosses, well, we've dealt with that before. They had a chance to fix it, but nobody did. As you know, the polling shows that this thing is headed towards no, and there's even a chance, according to some people that I really trust on numbers, that it could be no in every state. I can't believe that. I have to think New South Wales and Victoria is going to be a yes, because the numbers are pretty tight there right now. But again, we don't have enough data out of South Australia and Tasmania, which means we are kind of flying blind. These are national polls. You do need a popular result of 50 plus 1 plus the majority of states, and clearly they're not going to get at least half of that, being the half of the country, which means the thing's dead on arrival. But what happens in the states, we'll all learn together. But Anthony Albanese is already planning what to do after the bin fire that he set on fire, that he refused to release the detail for, and he thought would be the national distraction that would turn the Liberal Party inside out, rather than turning it into the party that was able to take a fight and win on this particular issue. Remember, the whole plan here was create so much pressure that Peter Dutton has to vote yes. People like Jacinta Nampijinpa-Price, they end up leaving the party or refusing to be part of the ministry. Liberals torn apart. But of course, that's not what happened. Well, Anthony Albanese is already saying to the friendly media what he plans to be the future after the Voice referendum. Now, of course, we were told that the Voice wasn't going to be his entire priority. But apparently he will wait until after the Voice referendum to make an even bigger push in towards low emissions. Would that be why they're continuing to punish you for using petrol? Because you have to pay for it, but he doesn't? Now, remember, of course, the result of his decision-making about pushing us too fast down the renewable track before we're able to get reliable technology, and the stuff that we are replacing it with is the stuff that will either catch on fire, like some of the batteries that have happened around the country, or, of course, the power lines will go all over the shop. But if it's a wind farm, even the Bureau of Meteorology says when it gets warmer, there's less wind. So apparently the way to stop the world from getting hotter is to change to the technology that doesn't work because the wind's... Okay. Meantime, a bit more on the yes and no campaigns and the latest polling. Interesting one from Demos AU. Again, I like to sort of check every now and then where the media that wouldn't normally ever be willing to speak against the narrative have to actually tell the truth every now and then. And some interesting breakdown in polling by an organisation called Demos AU, again, through that union-funded superannuation news website, the New Daily, where it shows us here that the yes campaign only just, and I mean just, is an inner-city phenomenon in favour of yes. Once you move towards the suburbs, no gets stronger. And once you move further out of the cities, it is even stronger. That's why we are sitting where we are. And remember, as I've told you about before, and I've gone in on chapter and verse about demographics and 18 to 24s and 25 to 34s and 35 to all of that, right? Well, this is nice and easy for everyone to understand. Under the age of 45, and remember that there are more people under the age of 50 than there are over the age of 50, yes, still hasn't cracked 50%. But, of course, it will be swamped by, firstly, not getting 50% of its half of the electoral roll, because 60% of people over the age of 45 say no, no, no. Meantime, some of the people who have observed the campaign and how it could have been better in terms of the yes case, they've turned around and said, among other things, that the lack of clarity and information, all the stuff I've been saying, by the way, including marketing focusing managing director and strategist Barry Urquhart, says the no campaign has benefited from having two clear spokespeople, while yes has been hampered by too many voices. Absolutely correct. By the way, I agree with what Chris Kenny showed you before about the full context of what Noel Pearson said at the National Press Club. Good for him to say it. I didn't want to sit in silence. It's a good point that he made. You need a simple message like Coke, we're the real thing. Where the Yes campaign have John Farnham, West Farmers, Bunnings, all saying yes, yes, yes. The people are saying, what does it mean? You've got to give an audience who is asking, what's in it for me? Also, another marketing expert, this one's called Toby, says that both sides have failed in effectively creating campaigns, but Yes was doing far worse than the No side. The government only provided one-sided pictures. The Prime Minister announced he wasn't going into the detail. He also goes on to say the second strategic blunder was in their strategy to take moral monopoly. This is really interesting. This is good. take a moral monopoly, that you're a good person and a nice person if you support it. If you don't, you're probably racist. Some interesting insights from the marketing people about why no is winning, with even a scenario of people at the moment, a vast majority of people in the country, and certainly not even the breakdown of under 50, over 50.